Outlander fans seem to be outraged at the situation between Claire and Jemmy Fraser going into Season 7. They're expecting a massive change for the characters and have been demanding on social media that something be done about it. We don't know what the solution will be, but let's talk about it. So stay tuned to today's video as we discuss the demand from fans to change Claire and Jemmy Fraser in Season 7. First up, what do they want to change? During Outlander's 5th season, Jaime and Claire Fraser welcomed their first grandchild to the world. Though this is a very precious moment and the writers definitely expected fans to be very happy about it, it seemed like fans genuinely didn't like this introduction. From what we can tell, fans are not happy about how this introduction was handled under demand for an additional scene to be filmed for Season 7 to make up for it. It's not unheard of TV series to adhere to fans like this, but it doesn't seem like Outlander is going to get this scene filmed for the next season despite fan outcry. The rest of this video will contain massive spoilers for Outlander Season 7, so make sure you are all caught up with the series before carrying on. It seems like fans really wanted Claire and Jemmy Fraser to be present at the birth of their next grandchild at the beginning of the next Outlander season. Season 5 saw Brianna and her husband welcome their first child together. Fans are going to have to wait a little while to meet Jimmy, the birth of the next grandchild, but readers are annoyed that Claire and Jemmy weren't present as they were in the book. In the book, they are actively present and helping with the birth, but in the show, they weren't even there. This might have been due to COVID restrictions, but fans are still annoyed that this scene didn't have the two involved. Thankfully, it seems like Season 7 is going to adapt the rest of Book 6, which contains the scene, so during the opening of next season, we might get them involved with the birth. Fans are hoping that they will get involved with the birth, and it will be able to make up for the ending of Season 6. Season 6 was halted a little bit because of the COVID pandemic, but this also means that Season 7 is going to have a massive 16 episodes, which is much more than any season had before. This means that they have a lot of room to adapt the last few chapters of the book before moving on to Book 7, An Echo in the Bone. This adaptation could contain the birth of Jemmy alongside both Frasers. All could even lead into the birth of Mandy, who is Jemmy's younger sister, later on in the story. We don't want to spoil too much about the book as Season 8 has already been confirmed, meaning that much more story is ahead of us. There are still 3 other books after Book 7, so another 4 or 5 seasons could be adapted from this. We are excited to see Outlander carry on with the book storylines and see how they adapt things in the future. What do you think about all of this? Let us know down in the comment section below, and also tell us your thoughts on the possible change coming in Season 7 to this birth scene. And now, stay tuned for some other television news from the last few weeks. Next up, Disney Plus is changing its payment plans to edge out Netflix for subscribers. The streaming wars are still going ahead as Netflix and Disney Plus are still going at each other in terms of streaming subscriber count. Just recently, Disney Plus edged past Netflix with a total of 221 million streamers at the end of the most recent quarter. They also announced that this December, they would be adding a new Disney Plus option with advertisements for a cheaper payment plan. In just this quarter alone, Disney Plus added 14.4 million Disney Plus customers, which beats the analytics of 10 million that they expected. Disney Plus recently combined with Hulu and ESPN, but also released series like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ms. Marvel in this quarter. This makes a lot of sense as all of this equates to more viewers, which means more money. Netflix has been on the decline recently, however, as they just announced that they had lost around 1 million subscribers in the quarter. This is their biggest first-ever back-to-back quarterly loss of customers, and Netflix are also planning on adding an ad-supported streaming option in the future. For years now, the biggest grasp of streaming platforms was that they had no ads, and you paid a fat fee every month to guarantee you could watch the content. However, as these streaming platforms raised in price each year, it's getting less and less affordable for people with lower income. Yes, it's much cheaper than your normal TV channel subscription, but things are still getting expensive, especially as there are many different series spread out between each streaming platform. In order to combat this and still make money, both platforms are releasing an advertisement version where you can pay less each month but get ads between your TV episodes. This would run like a normal television system, where every 10 to 15 minutes an ad would play, similar to YouTube as well. Disney Plus announced that with ads, the system will cost around $7 to $8 a month, but they are also increasing the ad-free version to $11 a month as of the 8th of December. This is also because of the increase of audience and content on the platform. Disney are putting more money into their project, just like Netflix are, so they need more money off their customers to keep things going. And finally, Manifest will be returning to Netflix charts ahead of the final season releasing. Our final piece of information is that Manifest is taking over the Netflix streaming charts ahead of its final season release in a few months. Manifest was of course cancelled by NBC a few years back, and Netflix swooped in to pick it up after the fan base demanded the series continue. Netflix are giving the series a final season season to wrap up the storylines and lingering cliffhangers. They gave the final season a 20-episode order, which should be able to wrap everything up. They also added the first few seasons onto the platform to make sure the Netflix fanbase could catch up before this final season releases. The first few episodes of Season 4 will arrive on Netflix sometime later this year, but the fans are already getting started rewatching the previous installments. In the latest top 10 Netflix streaming charts that they released, Manifest had a massive spike and is reaching the top spot, taking over even things like Stranger Things and The Gray Man. Creator Jeff Reich spoke about how the final season has changed since Netflix bought it. Here are some quotes from a recent interview. "The endgame won't change at all," Reich told EW last year. "For those who've been tracking this story through June and July, they'll remember that I was hopeful in the early weeks after cancellation that someone would step up and allow us to make something as modest as a 2-hour movie. It would have been stressful and would not have been ideal, but I would have figured out my way through it," the creator continued. "Given that I've had to go through the thought exercise this summer of how to get the original endgame in 2 episodes, 6 episodes, or 9 episodes, I feel like it's an embarrassment of riches to have 20 episodes to tell the rest of the story. So yes, I have always talked about 3 more seasons, and part of that was chronological because it's always been my goal to get the series finale in real time in accordance with the 5.5 years that the passengers had back, and that might have to adjust somewhat depending on how these episodes roll out. The good news is I'm absolutely confident that 20 episodes gives me enough time to tell the entirety of the story as I always intended to. When I've talked in the past about having a roadmap all the way to the end of the series, that didn't mean that I had a roadmap for literally every single episode. I have a roadmap with a series of twists and turns and flags in the sand that we would ultimately hit in order to tell the core stories within our mythology and within our relationship drama. So it will not be a particularly difficult exercise to overlay that same exact roadmap onto 20 episodes. It will be quite organic. It's awesome that Manifest is getting a second chance, as its fans were going crazy when NBC canceled it. Finally, the last season of the series will release sometime later this year, and we cannot wait to see how this amazing story will wrap up. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!